time for another lunch with Banks, and this time I've got Devilwalk, major coach, major champion, now a major analyst. My man got here in the end. You ready to have some food and chat? All things Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
All things that we know and love, or hate at times, depending on how you look at it.
It's all mood-based, right?
Oh yes. Now, in your playing day, did you have much of a focus on like trying to eat healthy, you know, eat good?
You know me, Banks.
No.
So, no, I did not really think about it. I still don't really think too much about it.
You're gonna go for the fish? You're a fisherman?
I'll try it. I don't really know.
You don't know.
I'm just gonna, I mean, why not?
Why not? All right, I'll make a couple bits of fish.
The food there has been quite good.
The food's been real good. Oh, you got vegetables as well. We got veg. Just some potatoes, some veg. Now, I see some mushrooms in here. I'm not a mushroom fan.
I love mushrooms.
You love mushrooms? All right, you can have my mushrooms. Yeah, we're sharing.
Yeah.
So, Devilwalk, we've known each other a very long time now.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot of roles, a lot of positions, a lot of ups and downs for your career. You're now here as a CSGO analyst. But I'm gonna go way back, yeah?
Yeah.
In Sweden, you live in like a crazy small town, right? It's like very cold from what you explained to me. It's north?
It's very north.
It's very north, yeah. Somewhere where like, not many people may have gone if they've gone to Sweden. But what was growing up for you like? What was early life before the Counter-Strike, before Devilwalk was even Devilwalk?
So I am one of 5 kids. I'm the second youngest kid.
Ooh.
I have one of those is an adoptive brother from Russia. And I think in Sweden it's like summer children from like Russian orphanariums or
orphanages. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very popular thing to like have these kids come over during the summer and then you know, help them have a different perspective of life and stuff like this. And but for me, that was like I never really knew that or saw that or whatever.
So it was just your brother?
Yeah, it was just my brother. But it was something I maybe learned a little bit later in life to try to explain to people, maybe. But yeah, big family. We weren't really not very wealthy family, a little bit of a poor background, but you know, I loved life. You know, summers up there were beautiful. The sun never sets. It was something that was very confusing to me. Going south was like I would look at the clock. The clock is like 8, 9, and the sun is down. And I'm like, oh, wait, what?
What happened?
The sun goes down at 2 and at night.
See, you're the opposite of all of us because, like, when I went to Sweden, I saw that I was like, like, how do people live like this? But for you, you had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I had a good childhood. I have a very good, I would say, parents that taught me good morals. I'm not a very materialistic person. I value more the good connection with people, and I think I've always kind of had that. And I think maybe that's also what has given me a little bit of an edge in coaching and playing and being a teammate, and because I mean I haven't always been, you know, like I haven't been like the best mechanically gifted player, but I've been seen as kind of like a glue. And I think that's come from that kind of environment. I've learned to be in maybe a little bit rougher times at some points, and taken that with me, and I know how to handle that and get back from it. But yeah, I was a very, I would say, a little bit of a troublemaker.
Why does that not surprise me? Look at this face.
Yeah, I still have the same smirk. You know, an unknown fact about me maybe is like when I was in 7th grade and when I went to 8th grade, which was, you have like a 3-year period where you like come from middle school to, so it's basically a high school.
Yep.
I was considered such a troublemaker, or like that I was actually barred from school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the same path as me. Okay.
So
makes sense why we get on.
I wasn't allowed to enter the school during like school hours, so I had to go to this other place outside and have all my lessons with like this substitute teacher because they thought I was like the brain behind all the operations of all the troublemaking.
So you were technically an in-game leader and coach in school of just destroying everything else around you.
Yeah, creating a little bit chaos here and there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. But okay, so from that point, you're a bit of a troublemaker.
Yeah.
You're separated from the rest of the school. You're on your own in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
How did Counter-Strike come into your life?
Counter-Strike has always been like a little bit part of my life, but I think it's mostly, you know, we used to share like one PC, we had a modem, you know, we had, you know, you had to sign up with 5 kids, everyone wanted to use the PC, but it was very normal for us to, you know, whoever came home from school first would just take the computer, and whenever the next, you know, my sibling would come home and it's like, how long have you been sitting at the PC? I just started. I've been sitting for like 3-4 hours, you know, like, and I used to play a lot of like StarCraft 1, Brood War,
nice.
And stuff like that. My favorite game of all time, which, well, it's not my favorite game of all time. It's definitely one of the most like warm experience I've had with the game.
Yeah.
It's called Beasts and Bumpkins.
I've never heard of that. We're
Most
the same age.
people
What is
haven't.
this?
It's actually a city building game where you like build milk cows and this and that, and you attack and you do militias, you have wizards. It's a great game. I don't know why people don't know
We're
about
playing
it.
this before we leave. Okay, we're gonna find this.
Yeah.
Gonna download.
I love it, yeah. And then I think I got more into the competitive scene when my brother used to have LANs with his friends. I remember like sitting up, like staring at them actually landing for like 5-6 hours straight, but I didn't play because I was obviously much younger.
Yeah. Were they landing Counter-Strike at this time? Because Swedish lands like coming together was really important.
StarCraft Brood War and Counter-Strike was the 2 big games, and then Warcraft even 2 back then. But obviously Warcraft 3 and then Frozen Throne came a little bit later. So those types of games, I used to always compete with my brother, who was born in '86 and me in '91. And I used to be so annoyed because he was always winning. But
of course,
obviously, like he has had a little bit of a age advantage there, but I didn't see it in that sense.
No, you just want to beat your brother.
Yeah. I just like, we're on even terms. He's living, I'm living. You know, like that's the ground. I was thinking, you know.
As long as you can breathe, it's exactly the same.
Exactly. So I think that kind of gave me a little bit of like the spark of like how to get better. I started thinking on a very early age how to beat my brother, like what are his tendencies and stuff like that. So I remember I finally beat him. It was a great achievement for me.
And this was like obviously competitive, family environment, your older brother, that kind of thing.
How old were you? A lot of trash talk.
How old were you in Counter-Strike time, like when you were playing Counter-Strike, when you were actually getting a grip of the game?
Ooh, it must have been like 11, 12 maybe.
Okay. And did you have this mindset, because obviously it was so big in Sweden, right? You had so many of these up-and-coming players, some of the best teams, some of the best players around. Did you have the mindset of I wanted to be a professional?
No.
So, okay, how did you start getting into teams and how do we get to this part of your life?
That is when CSGO really came out.
Jeez, that whole wait, so nothing in 1.6, nothing in Source.
No, I think I always believed I could do it, but it wasn't really like, it wasn't the main goal. For me, it was just having fun. I liked beating my friends. I liked to mindfuck them and like own them, and that to me was a huge part of the enjoyment. Like going into an internet cafe and just be like, you know, I'm gonna beat you, and you know, you have a little bit of back and forth trash talk and stuff like that. That part I really enjoyed.
Cool.
A lot of banter in that sense, and then you could, you know,
annoy
them for the rest of the week until we have to go again, beat them again, you know, this and that. But the professional mindset was much later. It was I think at the very end of 1.6, I gave it a try.
Cool. That first team?
Yeah, like, I mean, I played a couple of cash cups with like JW, Schneider, Quitten, and who else was it? I can't catch the names right now, but
doesn't matter, yes.
I remember playing like 2 or 3 of the cash cups. It was still against really good teams because that was when the scene was really dead. So even the top teams, like,
they wanted to play for something.
it's like, yeah, exactly. So
your B grips, right, and stuff like that.
yeah, so it was really fun, and then when CS:GO came out, I was working in a factory in north of Sweden for
still near like where your family home is.
Yeah, just like half an hour away or something. And basically I was cleaning like oil stains, shuffling fat and that kind of stuff, because they were making like these pellets for animal.
Okay.
After doing that for a little bit, I only did part-time. It was my full-time job. I was still very young. But I remember like, yeah, this is not what I want to do in life. That was like kind of like a wake-up call to actually try to do something, because I was never like someone that would hardcore try for anything I did.
Really?
No, never. But I think that gave me like a little bit of realization that if I just glide through life, I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll end up in this position.
Okay, so you said in 1.6 time these cash cups. Talking about JW, some of these guys. How did you get to know JW? How did you get to know these players?
It's very random, because I played in I remember this, like, was it Play Nation? I think. Where basically all the top Swedish players, they would make mixed teams and play with each other from different teams and their friends and from old teams and stuff. And I made some with it's actually like even with some of the crew from DreamHack, in the production room. Yeah. And we used to have a team, right? And basically we would play like casually 2-3 hours a night, together. And then all of a sudden it came this like, Devilwalk is cheating because we beat some high-profile
and they can't see
player.
that's possible.
Yeah. And I remember that thing, and then I went into a Norwegian gather channel and played against, like these really high-tier Norwegian players, like I'm blanking on their names right now, but like really famous Norwegian 1.6 players. I remember I played one gather and then they banned me because I had 2 good game sense. Was the reason for, and back then it was MRC, so you got like a,
I remember
it was like
MRC
banned
days.
reason, and then they wrote that, and I was like, yeah, I can do this.
All right, so had you been, you said about the DreamHack guys, had you been to DreamHacks in the past, like for just non-competitive stuff or anything like that? So you just met these guys, you also met JW through this, you get some accusations in 1.6, CSGO's come out now, you're obviously still playing Counter-Strike. So how did the CSGO journey come into something where you went, yeah, this is something I can do to a high level?
Well, basically, a little bit in the context of the story, Richard exists.
Yes.
He's a childhood friend of mine. So I always used to follow all his games.
Nice.
And watch through, like, what was it called back then, like the HLTV viewer thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it was just GoTV. I'm not sure.
It was HLTV.
It was just HLTV. Yeah.
Just connecting games.
Yeah.
That way, yeah.
And I used to watch a lot of games, watch the results, follow on Fragbite, and stuff like that. And I was really into it. The following, and I tried to understand, and obviously Richard gave me some perspective at times, of what he did, because he was up and coming at that time. And
he was just on the rise.
yeah, with like the
Definitely not
That
Mad
is
Lions.
not Mad Lions. It's,
H2K was the one he was in.
It was H2K, but he had also that other Lions team. What was it called?
Lowland Lions.
No, another Lions.
Come on, Devilwalk. I'm trying to help you today.
Either way, some
It was
Lions.
Exist.
It was, yeah. Exist was there. He was playing with some good players, and then eventually he started playing with Pronax and these kinds of guys. I remember this H2K, you know, that you referenced with Nico.
Spawn was on it at one point.
Yeah, but not at that time. I don't think he was.
2009.
Maybe he did a slight comeback.
He came back after he left SK. He came back.
Maybe.
Spawn came on. They got a sponsorship from Zowie that was like Spawn making his own gear and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
See?
All right. But yeah, it was like a mix. I think Modi was at one point. Yeah. Anyways, all of these players, it was exciting to watch. I loved watching 1.6, and yeah, through that, a lot of hours watching 1.6. I thought I had like a little bit of knowledge. I wanted to try it.
Yep.
And stuff. And when CS:GO came out, it just felt like, okay, now we're on even terms. Now I can actually try to do
Because it's a fresh
this.
game.
Because I don't have a 15-year disadvantage, I felt like, you know. So I think that really like made me excited. I practiced. I was grinding 1.6 until CS:GO was gonna come out.
Nice. So you kind of tried to pick up into it.
Yeah, I played like 14, 15 hours gathers every night for like 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
14, 15, bro.
Yeah.
You were sweating.
Yeah.
What?
Probably didn't shower either. Either way, it's like, you know, that to me was, yeah, I saw it as my big chance to do something that I believed I could do, and something I loved watching, something I loved and could see myself be a part of.
So, you do get to be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
But talk to me about the time before Fnatic and then getting on to Fnatic. How did that come about?
It's a little bit of a complicator. Because I remember I played about 2,000 hours of CS:GO back then.
Just games just come out.
Yeah. And I remember they changed all the recoils. And I think my first team, I was playing so many gathers in Pronax gather channel, like every night. And how was it? I think it was, so JW first. I became friends with him and played a lot of Play Nation with him through the 1.6, and then it came over to CS:GO. We had a good time. We used to casually play games together, and he was in this Norwegian team, and basically Flasha Schneider wanted to create a team with me because we were playing a lot of gathers together, grinding, and then we set up this team that we named Swag YOLO and Bitches.
Young guys, you know, why not call it Swag YOLO Bitches, of course.
Yeah, and
proud moment that.
Yeah, it was just our logo was my face smiling like. And everyone had that as their Steam profile, and just like in black, you know, like kind of street art swag.
Okay, nice. Cool kids.
Yeah, really cool. And yeah, and we started playing tournaments and you know, signing up to all these ESL cups, and to Face It started doing stuff. But we went into the a qualifier for an event like Swag YOLO and Bitches, and we got drawn. We had the worst seed. We got drawn NIP the first round, and we beat them 16-14. Obviously, it's like it's my friend of NIP, and I'm playing there. I can't imagine how embarrassing that was for him at that time. But
the one that was like teaching you.
Yeah, I haven't really talked too much about it. I knew how painful it would be for him, I think.
So you didn't want to stab the knife in a bit further, no?
I've heard plenty of excuses why they lost, but
okay.
I'm not gonna put any salt in the wounds. But and that was really our break, you know, and we got just salting the table, yeah. But yeah, and then we won the whole qualifier. And we qualified for this land. We then got an organization, and at that point it was Western Wolves.
Yes.
The one that later, you know, Nico, Pimp, Glaive played for.
Danes came for,
yeah. MSL, Nille, I think it was the lineup. Either way, we then got mega accused for cheating because nobody knew who we were.
The classic.
Yeah, the classic. You know, get right on stream saying we were cheaters. On screen, another personality.
On screen, I know Craig, yeah.
Yeah, said that we were massive cheaters.
Brits can't really talk about anyone cheating, let's be honest.
And then we weren't allowed into the prac group at that point.
Wow.
So we had to still use the old system of like 1.6 where it's like 5-on-5, hi, server on, you know?
The good old days, that was my days, yeah.
So we had to do that because we weren't allowed in. And basically we then practiced really, really hard. And then, no, we actually, this is after. Because we actually split up after that event we qualified for. And then I quit for a while, for 2 months.
Why?
Because of that update I referenced earlier, where I spent like 2,000 hours, and I just grinded, and I was like, oh, I wasted my 2,000 hours of my life trying to learn this recoil and stuff. And then I took a break, and basically my stepbrother, he called me. Huh?
Are you younger?
He's 1 year younger.
1 year younger. Cool.
He had played like H1C1 or something like this. Arma, I think. At that time with JW, and JW had called my stepbrother, and he called me. It's like, JW is looking for you. I hadn't sat on the PC for like 2 months, and he asked like, do you want to come to Copenhagen Games with us? And then we basically had this Epsilon team where we famously, you know, Pasha was gonna find us and do something else.
I just imagine, by the way, like these small little Swedish kids, big passion. And
yeah, from there on, we went to the LAN, we brought this lineup together, still not allowed in this prac group, because obviously everyone thought we cheated. My biggest memory from this event is that we obviously were glared by VP. They did not like, or that lineup. I'm not sure what they were called back then. But I remember being in this really small Danish hotel where breakfast was in the basement. And I kid you not, the size of this table was the whole way of the stairway down to breakfast. And you couldn't make it up in a better way. We faced Pasha halfway through that staircase.
And you went back upstairs.
And Pasha just... and we're just like cramming against the wall, you know, and he pushed through with his teammates, and then we went down. And the ironic part about that is we ended up knocking them out of the tournament.
Oh, he must have been super tilt.
So that was a little bit of a sweet moment for us.
Yeah.
Because it was obviously quite, you know, imposing, you know, in a sense. They were big players. I've followed them in 1.6, the Golden 5, and
legends.
Huge legends for me. And it, yeah, it was a little bit scary, but obviously later on I learned Pasha is just a teddy bear.
Big cuddly guy.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
See, the muscles aren't that intimidating, you know me.
Yeah, but you go
Yeah,
and, gonna find you and then meeting him the staircase was really scary. And then after that, everything just floated on. We went to DreamHack Summer. We came second in the international tournament and second in the Swedish tournament, both losing to NIP in the finals, which was quite a big statement from us.
Yeah.
And
consistent.
Yeah, and then after that we got invited to the track group. We just had to finish second in an international tournament on our second LAN.
Not really that hard to do, of course. So a bit of gatekeeping in that.
Yeah.
Now we come on to the Fnatic time, right? And this is where it was rise after rise. We started to see the superstars come out. What was that period like for you? Because you are, like you said, a man who hadn't really dedicated himself to something, never really tried that hard.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike, you definitely seem like you tried. You've got a good group of people that are not like anyone with super high profiles around you, and yet you're finding this success. Did it feel like you made it when you joined Fnatic?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like one of the biggest brands in Swedish Counter-Strike, and just Counter-Strike in general.
I was so happy just, I don't know, have a sponsor on my jersey, not even receiving anything from the sponsor, it doesn't matter, even in Epsilon or whatever it was. I was just happy representing.
So wait, the other teams you had salary though, yeah? Like Western Wolves, Epsilon salary?
No, I don't think. Well, maybe in Epsilon we had.
But like
$200 maybe a month.
So Fnatic was like the real deal thing where you this is full time, this is my dream.
Full time, but we definitely played full time. But
yeah.
Back then the salaries weren't that big, and I'm pretty sure we were just happy representing Fnatic as an organization. We had no idea what the worth of a team was, so I'm not sure we were.
And you were young at this point, right? As well.
Young,
but you weren't getting screwed badly as NIP.
Well, NIP had a salary.
Yeah, but I mean, we had horrible stories on the NIP side.
Yeah, but that's later on. Okay. I think
but was yours that bad, or?
NIP were the only ones that had a livable salary in the whole scene back then.
But would you say you guys were fairly treated in the overall thing?
I was happy representing Fnatic.
Okay, that's all I'm getting from you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lips are sealed.
Yeah.
I respect it. To go now, talk about this, right? Epic lineup, one of the most famous lineups. You're on Fnatic, and everything's changed.
Yeah. I had to do a lot of interviews. I remember that. I probably did
Let me just say this, right? That Fnatic team screwed you so hard because I was doing some interviews back then, but it was literally, I did Crims once, didn't do JW at all at the beginning, and it was just you. You did all of the interviews, all of the content. Benefited you now?
Yeah.
But you were thrown under a bus.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean,
yeah.
It was a little bit annoying sometimes to do 10 interviews after one game when everyone else sat down to chill. And that happening every game for the next 2 years. Even when I moved to coaching.
Yeah.
But that part of the story, is a little bit interesting, and I don't think it's known at all because we obviously won DreamHack Winter. Everything was going really well. But then just half a year later almost, things were very chaotic in the team. We went to DreamHack Summer. I think we lost against SK, a pretty recent build-up of a team. I think it was Emilio and Delpan maybe, and stuff like that. And I think we lost in the group stage. We still won the Swedish tournament there against NIP in the finals, so we became Swedish champions at least. But it was really, really, really sad for us to drop out of that tournament in the international one. And basically, a few weeks later, it was just total chaos. Who was gonna get kicked, this and that. I think even JW at that point in time was about to leave for NIP.
Ooh, could you imagine?
Yeah, and I convinced him to stay. And
so you were trying to be the glue of the team.
Yeah, and I remember writing to him like, "Can you just chill on this? Like, give me 2 months. Like, give me 2 months. I'll get to the best team in the world." And I called up Karin and I basically told him, "Okay, so this is my plan. You have to kick me, and you have to kick Schneider, and you have to pick up Olof, and then the fifth needs to be a relatively calm guy that is mature, and then you know, do that, and yeah, he will." I thought that JW deserved it more than me back in those days.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so that's what I did. Karn wasn't very keen on the idea at first, but I convinced him, and yeah, that's the route we took.
So, you kicking yourself, did you instantly get moved into coach? Was that like a part of it? No, so it was like kicked yourself.
It was like a week later.
Yeah, so like kicked yourself, you basically think you've given your career up. You've put this lineup on paper, which doesn't look like the best lineup because people obviously going to question things on it. You knew, yes, you knew it, but obviously Khan wasn't agreeing to it. So how did the coach conversation come up?
So basically, like, I think Khan like messaged me a few days later or something, and be like, you know, like I really need you because like
you just built the team.
You're the unofficial captain of this team. Like, you take a lot of responsibilities, this and that, and so he basically offered me that job. And yeah, I said, yeah, sure, why not?
Never coached before?
Yeah, it was a very overwhelming experience because I think back then it was also like people expected you to do like the most outrageous things as a coach. You were manager, you were coach, you were this, you were that, and you had like no time. Yeah, I did all the interviews, I organized with all the events, tournaments, invites, all this, while coaching on the server.
Let me stop and explain to people out there as well, right, is that what you see now and how it looks good, these were the times of like a real grind. It was not as luxurious, it was like not as happy as we have it now. There's still problems within teams, but like the ecosystem is so much better. You were in the mess of it all.
Yeah.
And like this god tier team that everyone's like, it's so amazing, this Fnatic could have just not happened at all.
Yeah, it was very close. Very, very close.
Are you proud of like when you look back at it now?
I'm proud of my decision. I'm also proud that I haven't like really I haven't shouted to the world that this is my thing, you know, or I did that, or I never thought I needed to do that. It was special to me and for me inside. You know, I was proud of being selfless in that sense, and yeah, it's a very warm memory, and I think I'm proud to be able to make such a decision, and especially when I was that young. So yeah.
Any regrets though on your decision, or do you not? Are you a man that even lives with regrets? Do you believe in that?
No. I think that every decision you make, they mount up to where you are today. I'm really happy to be, you know, healthy, alive, and still in this world in some sense. So every minute is a bonus to me, and that's how I feel.
I'm happy you're here as well, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We've gone on a crazy, wild journey together, from interviews to friends.
Yeah.
And how it's all worked out. What would you say is your greatest moment in Fnatic? Or even just, not just like, it can be an achievement, it can be a win, but is there a moment or memory that sits with you just like, I love that time?
I mean, I love the time we had. Like, it's kind of like the process and the journey. There's a lot of bad moments.
A lot of stress.
A lot of stress. I can't imagine. I haven't looked myself in the back of my head in a while, but I don't think I have gray hairs yet.
No, you're looking good, man.
So I'm proud I haven't gotten a gray hair, because I feel like most people will probably lose all their hair from the shit that I've gone through.
So what's the greatest moment? Come on, give me one.
I mean, greatest moment is winning the major. I remember having like a 40-degree fever when I won the major, so I didn't tell my teammates.
Oh, you just held it down?
Yeah, I just like acted so they wouldn't lose belief.
I am fine.
I am completely fine.
You can do that though. You are the type of person who can pull that off. You're very like, there's just not much changes with it. Sometimes, like, I know you, but there's many people you meet and they don't know whether you're serious or not on what you're saying.
I know. I always had a smirk.
Poker face, you're just always laughing and smiling, but you're like, he could kill you, he could just shake your hand.
Yeah.
That is the Devilwalk way. Now, obviously after Fnatic, all the success, right? Some of the best players in the world, some of the best players to ever touch the game. You were a player, then you coached, and then you try to go back to playing for a bit. What was the thought process behind that? Like, what made you want to just say, okay, I'm done with Fnatic? Or was it not even your decision?
No, I mean, it was my decision. I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave because I felt very badly treated by the players.
Even though they were your friends?
I felt like after a period of time, I felt like I was just, you know, someone they wanted me to get them drinks or snacks at certain periods, and yeah, I didn't feel appreciated at all. So I told Karin at it was at an English event. What was the Gfinity event?
Yes, I remember.
When they had a movie theory.
You told me before you made the decision.
I told Karin at lunch, and I finished the tournament and I left.
And you're very decisive in life, right, with things like that. When you're done with something, you're one of the guys that is done with it.
If something takes more than it gives, I'm done.
Yeah. Smart way. You protect yourself that way as well. So, okay, we're going to skip past going back to playing, because I'm just going to be honest, Devilwalk didn't really work out when you went back to playing, right?
No, but I liked it.
You liked it. You had your fun.
I had fun.
And you had some moments where we get to see you back again. But then you come back into coaching. When you came back into coaching, oh boy, you went through some tough times. Like, some great players came with you, but like, there was all of this up and down moments, trying to find orgs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this was the first time I really decided I wanted to be a coach.
So this was like,
done
yes,
with
I want.
play.
Okay,
I
cool.
had no intention, even in the back of my head.
So this was never going back?
Ever go back playing. The thing was, like, started coaching at like, what, 22, 23?
Yeah.
Which was very young. I still had like that hunger for playing, and that's why I went back and forth. But this time was the first time I felt, okay, now I'm gonna give it a real shot. I'm gonna work hard and I'm gonna enjoy being a coach without ever feeling any regret. You know, what if this or that. So I think this is the time where I'm at my absolute best in coaching, where I've you know, looked back at all the moments and experiences and taken a lot of lessons from them and utilizing, you know, also from my player's perspective, what made me fall down, what made me go up, and try to employ that into players as well, because I don't think all coaches have that experience of how to get out of a rut as a player and how you change almost as a person sometimes when you're great. So yeah.
Now, in this part of your coaching though, right, you had these up and downs, many different lineups, many different organizations.
Yeah.
Was it harder this time around, like because of the players you had, or what do you feel? Because you were in this like tier 2, tier 3 grinding mode, right? I would call it, where sometimes you qualify, we get to see you there. I remember, like, was it no chance when you were at the Berlin Major?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw you again. You had these moments where it was like a team that's on the cusp, but obviously the sad part for you is because you didn't have a big organisation, a player can just be taken away. What was it like to be in that? Because you went from being like the powerhouse org, where you had pretty much what you wanted, maybe you weren't treated where you wanted, but like the org had that power, to being in a situation where I'm building players up, I see potential, oh, and I've lost it again, or this player's left, or this thing didn't work out.
I don't mind it.
No?
I usually, if a player gets an offer, I say, get the fuck out of here.
So many people I wouldn't imagine do that. Again, you're being selfless.
But it's not. It's like when I came to No Chance, I remember Frozen got an offer from Mouse.
Yeah.
He had a call with me privately because he was so he was a little bit like unsure because he didn't want to betray the team.
Leave his people, yeah, I get it.
And
Loyalty.
and I just said like, come on, man! Like, if they're really your fans, they would love that you go to Mouse Sports and take this offer and take the next.
That's because that's how you think. But many people, I think, would try to hold people back. You know, this is a really good trait to have. But it's like, I guess it's the point where we say advice for new players.
I honestly believe in what you give is what you get. And if you give positivity, you let people do their thing, and you embrace that, you know, karma in some sense. I think your life will be fine. I have no worries, like at all.
Yeah, I like it. I love the attitude. Positive man over here.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're going through all this, right? Then we come on to Godsend times. How was that? Back with a Swedish organisation on paper.
That was fun.
Pronex at the time was the CEO in charge of it, founded it back together.
You could buy food and cigarettes again.
But, okay, how bad was it then on some of the other teams where you were in and out of orgs, not getting money all the way through?
I had no money.
No money?
But I wasn't stressed.
Wait a second, not even like savings from, say, your Fnatic time?
No, it's all gone.
Wow. Okay, so I'm now just going to ask you, like, how were you living? Like, what was going on?
I was living at my mom's place.
You just went back home?
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Also, you had the bit where you did gamers together. We had that little
Yeah.
reality TV experience together.
That was basically what I had.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, and this is the thing.
Okay, it's like this. Like some people, I have this attitude like I'm happier poor.
But as someone who grew up really poor, I'm not happy or poor.
I get that.
Like, it motivates me to not be poor again.
I don't like it has. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't understand it myself. Really,
But do you mean, are you happy just with like?
If I really look back, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the moments when I was the poorest.
I do in the sense that like it motivated me to do better. But I mean, I was at points where I was so poor that I never wanted to be back in that again. Like it was so awful.
Okay, yeah. But I lived
But I guess
with
you
my
always go
mom,
back,
and
yeah.
like she got my back and this. So I was never in like a fear of being out on the streets or anything like
yeah.
that, and that helps.
got
Obviously,
another
if I
fallback.
get to that point, obviously it's really important.
Oh shit.
But I was never in that situation.
Cool. But that's still crazy. You were working so hard, doing this for the teams, and you were just getting nothing for it until God sent again.
That was fun.
Wow, that's mad. And the thing is, the community might look at this and think like, "Oh, Devilwalk, like he was."
What
doing
an
Fnatic."
idiot.
No, not. I don't think they think what an idiot, but they look at it like, "Oh, Fnatic Devilwalk, he's gonna have." Because I think community and people at times have a misconception that we're all like hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, you know, and rocking it and living the dream because they see what we have.
Yeah.
But like, that money will go out eventually. Then if you're not back on top, it can start to look bad. And like, then you're coaching these other teams where you're not getting huge stuff coming through. So God Sent again was like where you are back to a better life.
Yeah.
Yeah, a better coaching life, living life.
I mean, I was in a better life, just back in the game, you know, coaching players, trying to. Because for me, this was always a journey to like get back to the meta, trying to understand the game, how it works today. It was never about like, oh, I'm gonna try to fish for the best contract here and now. Because
So you weren't trying to contract help and get better.
I had offers from like the US and stuff, like Optic and stuff like this.
Wow.
But I always said no because I did not believe I would do a good job.
What do you mean?
Because I want the journey. I want the crosses. I want to do.
So you wanted to rise the team from the bottom to the top?
Yeah.
Are you proud now, looking back at it, even though the teams didn't work out, that some of the players you coached are now on to like some of the great events and great tournaments?
Of course I am.
Who would you say is your greatest achievement and like a player of what you worked with? Who would you go, oh, I'm glad I took part in his journey?
Oh, Madden.
Madden, yeah? Because he's killing it.
He's my boy, man.
He's your boy. Is it nice to see this now, like where he's at?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
It's almost like it's like myself, like a part of myself, and I look at it, it's like, yes, you know, it's like my baby.
But you're never a person, right? That's the thing. You've got this relationship with players that people won't be seeing because the cameras aren't around, right? But like, I see the respect you get from players. I see that also you don't just tweet out like, yes, I helped him achieve this or something like that, right? You never take any credit for it. It's really admirable, like you have that quality, but you've done so much for. What other players do you say you're most proud of? Because obviously Madden's an obvious one considering his end position now, but who else?
No, wow. I mean, obviously Asker, I'm really proud that he's on Astralis now, and he deserves a lot of credit. He's an up-and-coming player. Obviously, there's things he needs to improve, just like Madden. But I'm proud that I got to be part of his journey. I think he's an awesome dude, and I really like him.
Okay, so you get asked to do the majors analyst. You told me yourself you didn't expect to be asked to do it, right?
No.
But obviously, anyone that gets asked, you're not saying no. You're not turning that offer down. Right?
No, that would be stupid.
The only person who has been an analyst, coach, and player at majors, won the coach position. Sorry, won during a player position. Now you can't win as an analyst, but you've won by just being here. So technically, you're 3 for 3 in all of this situation. It's pretty amazing. Do you want to keep doing analyst work? What's next for you? What does Devilwalk
I would love
to?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. Yeah.
And you bring such an interesting, different insight because you've been so recently up with the meta. I think that like even when you have the players up on the desk, you've been doing a good job. You spin off really well of like Pimp and Maniac and how that works.
I think all credit goes to them. They are really easy to work with. If I explain a point, they can sometimes take over and oversimplify because they also understand what I'm talking about. But maybe I don't have the awareness of how to translate that to a casual viewer sometimes. So it's been really nice to working with them and them kind of saving my ass a few times. So yeah, it's been good.
And I'm allowed to say this, right? And they can obviously edit this out if they want to, but when you came to me, you said like, oh shit, I'm nervous, but also you didn't feel like you deserved it.
Yeah.
But like, you got asked, you're doing a good job here. You feel more comfortable now, you're looking forward, you're excited.
I'm gonna make sure in the aftermath, deserved it.
Hey,
but I did not think or believe I deserved it when I got asked.
It's fair enough, I can see that, I get it. So what's next after this? You just going with the flow? As it seems to be your whole life has just been like this.
Yeah, my dad calls me the shrimp sandwich because all I do is glide through life.
But it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
And you're happy.
Yeah.
You got a good like outside of work life as well.
Yeah, I got a beautiful girlfriend, beautiful apartment by the river in Umeå, so I get to see the sunset and sundown by like both sides of the river.
Nice.
So yeah, extremely happy in the position I have in life right now, and yeah, can't be more than thankful.
Do you want to coach again?
Yes.
Will we see you coach again?
Probably.
Nothing I'm gonna know about just yet.
No, I don't know. So
okay,
I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
Well, Devilwalk, I've known you for many years. I got a lot of love for you. Thank you very much for your time. You are gliding successfully through it all.
Yeah, that's the way.
This is the way. That's it. Boom.